We get another season of the Canadian Bowling Championships underway with women's 5-pin play. Last year's runner-up, Barb McLachlan, former pins game champion. She's from Mississauga, Ontario, goes against Winnipeg, Manitoba's Holly Chaikowski, a former national youth bowling champion. So both of them have impressive resumes. Certainly, when you look at, as a veteran of TV play, that would have to be Barb.
She'd be the one to bet on right now, but see how she gets started off here. Throws an easy backup ball into the pocket. Starts it off perfect. Now in this format, Holly will get up and play 2 frames, so they'll alternate who's leading off in the frame, basically.
One previous TV appearance, that was on a pins game when she won $450, making it through to the quarterfinals. Everything slows up a little bit, doesn't it? And when, we have to draw the comparison to the pins game. And you've often said if you feel troubled, you have to make the adjustments if in fact you're looking for certain spots on a lane. This time you can in fact maybe go with something to see if it works, if it doesn't change 2 or 3 frames down.
Exactly, you've got a little leeway here. So she covers up for the spare. Opportunity now, get it on the side of the head pin for at least a good count. Okay, that's 2 misses in a row to the left side, or count 20 on her first frame now. Needs to recover with the spare. Get rid of those first few frame jitters, the nerves kicking in. Better recovery and gets the break for the spare. Just a little full on that last shot, but managed to carry that right corner pin. Sets up a spare for Barb to look at. Barb with the strike working in the first frame. Easy delivery here, nice follow through on the side again.
I'm surprised that left corner didn't go.
Good ball. She had lots of pin action going around back there, but now needs to line up. And here's the big key. Cover the spare, keep the game alive.
Top of the third, right?
You're ahead of in the pinfall right now. Just keep that lead and you move on.
Nicely done to pick up the spare. So a strike spare up for Barb McLachlan. Nice start for the runner-up in last year's 5-pin championship. Barb McLachlan, Mississauga, Ontario. Strike spare. 2 spares for Holly Chaikowski out of Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Barb's been on the middle both times. Strike in the first, left corner spare in the second. She leads off in the third and gets the string. Great action on that one. She got tapped on that left corner. This time the string comes all the way around. You got to be a little patient here. Fits the ball into the pocket. The delayed reaction, and here it comes. So 60 in the second frame for Barb McLachlan now. And a good result for Holly. First time on the middle. Gets the good result with a strike. She trails by 10 pins after 2 frames. Both players with strikes in the third. She sets up for this one, delivers the ball nicely. Good follow through into the left pocket. No doubt about it, all 5 pins in the pit. Needs to repeat that shot now as she leads off in 4. Got a little lazy on that one. You can see arm fall off to the right a little bit. Weak shot on the middle, managed to carry everything but the left corner. And her first test at picking up the corner pin now.
We mentioned that she is a former Youth Bowling Council champion from 2000, and here again gets all the wood, as you say. She's rather unique in her delivery.
Takes a big first step, and then a kick up, and into a 3-step approach. Finishes with the slide. Big thing, you want to keep that Left foot pointed straight down the lane. Stay balanced. Big key at the foul lines. Keep balanced. Okay, there's the first miscue for Barb. Off to the left side. She'd been on the middle previously. Strikes in the first and the third. A left corner back in the second. Now needs to keep the string alive with a spare. Here's the danger shot.
Oh, goodness, off the sidewall.
Big break there again. That's the danger with missing the middle on the first ball. You can get tapped on a shot like this, and she nearly does. If that pin would have remained standing on the deck, they would have respotted it back on the 2-pin spot. 10 pins separating the two now. Both bowlers with spares.
Barbara won $5,000 last year as the runner-up, as she has marked in all frames so far.
Solid strike. She's had a strike every time on the left lane. First, third, and fifth as she leads off now. Holly Chaikowski to respond. Watch for the arm to come up nice and straight, down the middle. Good lift on that one.
Well, we got a game. Way to go, ladies. Nice start to a brand new season of the Canadian Bowling Championship.
Good mix on the pins. She looks down, just checks that spot that she had laid that one out on, and now wants to duplicate it. Watch for the balance at the end and the good follow through, the steady head focused on the spot. Looks a little off there.
Pulled it down.
Yep, pulled it over to the left, and now by taking out just the 3-pin, a much more difficult spare. Got to be perfect with this one, or else hope for a lucky string.
Right side of the head pin?
Yeah, you can get it on either side.
Really?
The speed has to be right.
Oh, dear.
Manages to grab that one. It looked a little full.
Boy, did it ever.
But the ball just took out the back end of the left corner for the spare to keep her game alive. As it goes down, you'll see it hits full on the head pin, and watch how narrowly that ball just grabs that left corner. Keeps her alive, though. Good games going for both bowlers at the present time. Barb, an opportunity here to distance herself if she can throw a strike.
Yeah, she does.
Great pin action. She's hit it in the pocket, she's hit it full, and she's hit it now thin, and managed to carry strikes every time. So just enough action on this one to kiss off the left corner. Got the double working. Big chance to build up pinfall now.
Wow.
There we go. A 45 count by virtue of that third strike, bringing her total up to 165 in the fifth as compared with Holly's 140. But the double working, mega points coming up. Holly's got to respond with a strike.
It's good for her. Good for her.
Okay, that keeps her pretty much even. She's going to lose a little pinfall in the sixth, but this was a huge strike for her. Fits it over to the left side of the head pin, carries all the wood into the back of the pit. Now, here's the one she wants to set up and take her time on. 8th frame. Huge setup frame.
Holly works for Quintex Uniform Rentals in Winnipeg. That's the one. That's the one.
Fabulous shot.
That's great for somebody making just their second TV appearance. That's responding to the challenge.
Exactly. This sets her up for a possible 350 game. Just drills it right in the middle again. All 5 pins back there. She knew she released a good ball. Got the good result.
Now there you see Barb with 3 in a row, and that extra pin count she got in 5.
And she's going to get it again right here. She's already got 30 pins, so she picks up bonus pins right here on Holly. Lucky break there, right corner, quite full on the middle, so an opportunity again to spare. That was the break that Holly needed, was for Barb to break off that run of strikes. That gives her a chance to get back into the game. Potential for Barb McLachlan right now. Throw the spare. Set up the 9th frame. Got to keep a mark working here.
Yeah, an open would hurt, but certainly be good for Holly.
Exactly. Okay, she backs off on this one.
Now she's at 238. In her televised appearances, her average has been 243. So Barbara having a much better game. And she manages to pick up the spare. So that's terrific stuff. Marks in every frame so far for Barb McLachlan.
Possible 358 game. Holly's potential, 350 if she strikes out. Great opening match. So here's the big frame for Barb. Set the table. This will put a lot more pressure on Holly. Her spare counts 15 points, plus whatever she knocks down with this first ball.
No.
And there it is, the dreaded head pin in the 9th frame. That just suddenly dropped her potential, if she picks up all the wood, down to 318. Just a killer in the 9th.
And gives Holly hope.
Here's where you got to do your work. Pick up 5 on the left or right side, then do it again on the side that remains. If by some miracle you should spare this, that's just mega bonus.
Oh boy.
Okay, chops out to 3. So again, her potential falls. Now down to 316 if she picks up the 5. She can hold it at 318 if she swings them all. Gets the 13 count.
What a time, though, for an open in 9.
Well, the good thing for Barb is she gets to finish. It may be too late for her, but Holly needs this shot. Watch for the follow-through. Good lift on it. No. Swings it off the middle. No real danger done. She can cover the spare. She'll have 235 through 8 frames as compared with Barb's 258. Her potential is dropped to 310.
Oh, that's the killer.
And there's a 9th frame open again for both players now, but this one is a huge mistake for Holly. Try to cover those last 5 pins. We'll give her 245 through 9 frames as compared with Barb's 271. She does. Good job on that. So the best she can do now, strike out for 290. That would force Barb McLachlan into throwing a mark. Go 2 strikes and leave a corner pin. That'd be a 43 count. That would get her up to 288. That would also force Barb into throwing a mark. Got to get the first strike.
No.
Doesn't. The head pin, and she'll bow out to Barb McLachlan. That's the way you like to win. Sitting on the bench, got a frame to play, and you know it's in the bag.
But you know something? With that open in 9, Barb still had to sweat it a little bit.
Oh, exactly.
Considering where she was and up by as many pins as she was.
Yeah.
But she had a run of 3 strikes, 5, 6, and 7. Her first open for McLachlan came in 9.
Both players marks all the way along until the 9th frame. There's the 15 count. Finishes with a very respectable 260 game. But it won't be enough.
The Americans, I think, stopped up to go commercial.
Looking for the big finish. Barb McLachlan, who teaches special education, grades 7 and 8, at Robert H. Lagerquist. That's in Brampton, Ontario.
Just look at the difference in the composure now. Just relaxed, easy, let the ball go. Good things happen.
Well, you wouldn't expect it. I mean, you see it. You do see it, but with her experience, this is where she should have the advantage over somebody such as Holly.
It certainly helps, but when, that head pin showed up for her in the 9th, you could see the look on her face going, oh man, I can do the math here. I'm in a little bit of trouble perhaps.
Nice finish. She recovers from the open in 9, throws 3 strikes, and bowls a 316. Remember, her series average coming in was 243, so last year's runner-up is off to a good start as she looks to win this year's Canadian Women's 5.
Last half of the game holds 225 points.
Has to regroup, and that's a good start for Joanne Nadeau, who, as the owner of the Alexandria Lanes, is part of the Bowling Proprietors of Canada, and always nice to be joined by them when we come to Calgary. And on our immediate right, that's Arnie Rollins. He's the current president. Bob Randall, Mariana McConey, Al Moran, and Brian Sargent is right in the middle. He's the past president. Always nice to see them.
And while the boys were getting their glamour shots, the 4th strike now, and the pinfall is mounting on Shelly's side of the ledger. She's up 140 to 103 through 4 frames, a 37 pin advantage, but the open frame for Joanne in 5 is going to cost her dearly. Miscue there, off to the right side, gives her a 35 count, bringing her 5 frame total to 175 as compared to Joanne's 118. Here's where you want to try to convert the spare, keep the game alive.
It would be a shame at this point to have an open.
But open she has, right on the nose.
Yeah.
So the opportunity that Joanne needed presents itself. Shelly broke off that string of strikes. It's a long way back, but it's far from impossible. 12 the final count, bringing her 7 frame total to 212. If she should strike out, 347. Joanne, 225 left. You do the math, that's 343. Needs these next 2 strikes to set it up. Stubborn left corner again, her 3rd one.
Left.
So that cuts her potential down to 313 with a spare now. Good reach, good result.
So trailing by 52 pins through 6. A former runner-up on the pins game back in 1988-89. Joanne Nadeau.
Cuts the margin now, throws the strike, giving her the 30 count through 7 frames. Good looking shot coming up in here. Ball goes over, stays on the lane, carries that right corner off.
Shelly trying to respond, and she does. After that open, comes back with the strike in 8.
She's got a 34-pin lead now with 2 frames to play. Both players with strikes working in the 8th. No question about this one. She leans a little on it, thought it might have been a little thin. Watch the follow-through. Comes up full.
Oh.
Last place, you want to get that when you got a strike working in the 8th and you're in a close match. And the match can get very close suddenly. So we'll need the pins respotted. Just the head pin came out, but you could see as the ball went through, it kind of triggered back on the string and caused that left side to be pulled down by the machine. So we'll just wait a second here. They'll get the left side re-racked. Just the head pin is out.
We want to welcome Shelly's husband Lyle. He's here joining us from Castlegar at the Frank Sisson's Silver Dollar Bowl and Casino. And it's, as we see so often, such a family game. He bowls, Shelly bowls, their 3 daughters bowl. In fact, their eldest daughter, Megan, went to the Nationals as a bantam player.
It starts young for some of the kids. They qualify in the Youth Bowling Canada program. Then they get an opportunity to get some of that experience. They typically like the experience playing against other provinces, and you're representing your province at the national finals. And it just leads to them escalating up to this competition.
And we should offer some congratulations as well to Joanne, because she was quite recently voted into the Bowling Hall of Fame. So congratulations to her. But there's another family who has dedicated their life to the game. And the game, her father was a proprietor. Game has been in their family since the early 60s.
Yes. They're a dedicated bowling family, if you will, and it's their livelihood. They look after it. They all participate, and you'll see her face around for years to come, I'm sure, as the kind of quality bowler that she is.
It's the Canadian Bowling Championship, women's 5-pin play. The winner takes home $10,000. We're still waiting for the pins to reset. Barb McLachlan has already moved on, last year's runner-up. She bowled a 316, and waiting to see now who she will play, either Shelly Stoushnow or Joanne Nadeau. And the applause from the crowd here at the Silver Dollar means the pins have been reset after that thunk of the head pin.
A critical factor here, get the 15 points. She's still got the lead. Doesn't want to give away anything extra, and there's probably 2 more points going over to Joanne Nadeau. And by that I mean that's 2 less that she has to earn. There's the 13 count. She's got 248 through 9 frames. Best that she can bowl if she strikes out is 293. Joanne Nadeau right now, 313 possible. Big, big, big frame.
Well, for Shelly, it's a much better game. In her previous appearance on TSN, she averaged 228, so she's up by 20 pins. Oh.
Okay, missed to the side. That drops her potential down to 283. Has to cover the spare. Better shot, but no break in that left corner again. So the best she can hope for as she scans the scoreboard is pick up this corner pin. That will give her a 266. It will force Shelly into throwing a mark in the 10th at least. Shelly right now can bowl a 263 with a 15 count. Joanne wants to score at least a double and leave a corner to force Shelly into throwing a mark in the 10th. She's not going to do it. And the match is pretty much over unless Shelly walks out of the building right now.
Right.
She's got 248 through 9. The best Joanne can do 251 with a spare conversion here and cap it with a strike. That's not going to happen.
Not going to happen. And when you look back at this, Shelly Stoushnow, that run of 4 strikes, 3 through 6. Of course, she didn't have an open until the 7th.
She made mistakes in the 1st and 2nd by missing, but she made the conversions for the spare to keep the game alive. So 233, the final result for Joanne. Disappointing finish, opening the 9th and 10th frames.
And well below her TSN average of 244.
Okay, a right corner. First time that Shelly has left a corner pin. Okay, not the way you want to finish off, so use this last ball. You're going to play Barb McLachlan next. It could be important picking up corners against a bowler like that. Use this one for a little practice. You've already got this game in the match. And
no.
Okay.
13 count in the final frame for Shelly Stoushnow. As the edge came off her game, realizing that she will advance as she bowls a 261. Shelly Stoushnow from Castlegar, BC, will advance now to the quarterfinal and face. McLachlan was last year's runner-up in women's 5-pin play of the Canadian Bowling Championship and has a chance to take one more step against Castlegar, BC's Shelly Stoushnow. McLachlan will throw first after she bowled the 316 to Shelly Stoushnow's 261. Boy, it's almost like she dropped it, but still managed to get it out at her target.
Got away with that one a little bit, but she's been, anytime she's hit the middle, even a little bit on the side, she's pretty much carried strikes. So she's got some good action going on. Shelly wanting to match up here. Off to the left on the first ball. That's where she struggled the first couple of frames against Joanne Nadeau last time, and then got settled in and threw 4 consecutive strikes. So see if she can manage to convert the spare. Good lift, a little off balance, but a good result.
Well, she started off a little slowly. Remember, in her preliminary game, she opened with a couple of spares and then rattled off 4 in a row.
And that's the big thing. Minimize the mistakes. If you miss the middle in the first ball, really work on that conversion. Better looking shot, but straight down the pipe for the head pin. And if you're going to get one, getting it early is not a bad spot. That 9th frame is pretty deadly, as we saw in the other games. So she counts 20 on her first frame. And a miscue here by not picking up the left side. Probably the best she's going to hope for is a 12 count now and a 32 pinfall total through her first 2 frames. And it won't be that much.
No, and this is where the sports psychologist would step in and say, now, Shelly, you have to park it. You have to just forget it. It's done. It's gone.
Right, and the good part for her is she does get to sit down now. The bad part, she's got to watch Barb. She's got that first strike working. Looked very good on the first shot. Watch for the balanced finish. Steady head. And then the reach with the arm, just like that. And look at the kicks and the action she's got going on. Continues into the second game, 2 consecutive strikes. This ball just works itself onto the middle. It's full, but watch that pin just nudge it back. Little coaxing from Barb. There's the double. Opportunity to move well out in front now if she can fit this one on the side.
Yes. 3 in a row to start for Bob McLachlan. So picks up the 45 in the first frame. So has a 25 pin jump immediately.
And this one, good work and shot here. She's got lots of good action on the pins. And they're just getting out of there in a hurry. Shelly now needs to get something started. And another little push off to the left side. So forced to try to convert the spare and then get settled in. Now the big part here is where the pins game you ran into trouble with, you would be down 3 frames to nothing right now. You're still alive in this format.
But she's got to make some adjustment here, whether it be a mental adjustment, maybe it's from a physical point of view, the way she throws, but has to do it in a hurry here.
Exactly. Now's the time to make the change. Struggled through these first couple of frames. Haven't really thrown a good ball yet, outside of the conversion in the first frame. Misses here, so she's left pins on the lane. Needs to try something now. You might speed up. You might slow down a little bit. You might throw the ball farther out in the lane. You might play a different line. But you have to do something.
Shelly, who is an insurance agent for Anderson Insurance in Castlegar, which is in the BC interior. It's about 3 hours south of Kelowna. And that's another head pin for her. So she's had 2, and both on this lane. Yeah,
she's been right dead on the nose on this side. Now, she needs to cover these pins off. Again, a miscue. So, leaving pins on the lane, while Barb McLachlan, of course, has been perfect through the first 3 frames, leaving these pins just doesn't sit well in your mind. You're not hitting what you're aiming for. So, got to get this replaced. That's a better shot, 12 count, and 53 through 4 frames. Barb McLachlan, on the other hand, has 90 pins right now without throwing a shot.
Barb bowls at the Bowlerama in Stony Creek, Ontario, which is just on the outside of Hamilton on the way to Niagara Falls.
Should take her time on this one. Throw one good ball here. Really force Shelly into pressure and pushing. Doesn't quite get anything off the middle. First miss.
Asked you about Shelly and having to, not think about the way she's playing. But for Barb too, she has to not think about her the way she's playing Shelly. I mean, she's got to keep focus on her game.
Right, she's got to avoid complacency. So she misses with the first one, pulls it across on the second one. The result's going to be an open frame, and what could have been a huge margin, just all of a sudden there's a ray of hope for Shelly. Does she get it with this one? Yeah, finally. Just manages to snag it for the 15 count. So right now she's ahead by 67 pins, 120 through 4 frames compared to 53. But that open frame just stopped that pinfall from mounting up on her side and gives an opportunity for Shelly to climb back in it. Of course, Barb is going to have something to say about that with this shot.
All right. Wow, very nice, great splash. And she recovers from her open frame to pick up the strike here in 5.
Better shot again, this time into the right pocket. No question about it. Ball tags off the right corner. Pins take care of the left. Sets the strike on the table as she leads off in 5.
But as you say, the opportunity is here now for Shelly, yes, to respond. And that's what she has to do, is match Barb McLachlan with everything she throws, and maybe hope for a break, maybe a miss by Barb.
Right, just stand a corner or something. Let me throw strikes. You stand a corner here or there. She coaxes this one in, and the big part is she finally delivered a decent first ball and got a good result.
And it's too easy to say, and you hear it all the time, and she misses the head pin. You're never going to get it all back at once. You have to sort of nibble. And in this case, it's nibbling one frame at a time.
Exactly. Just got to keep chipping away at it, even if it means, this kind of thing where you had a strike and got it set up to go. Got to keep that spare attitude. This match is not finished yet, and now she compounds the error and is going to have an open frame here in the 6th.
Should mention to you the money involved. We've talked about the $10,000 that goes to the winner as we look at Shelly's husband Lyle. our losers in the preliminaries, both Holly Chaikowski of Winnipeg and Joanne Nadeau of Alexandria, Ontario, both took home $250. The loser of this game will take home $1,000. Of course, the winner moves on to play for the potential $10,000.
Big difference in dollars here. So here's where Barb wants to really drive it home. Just let the ball out of your hand. Gets the chop off, a little light on the first shot. It's going to pick up the pinfall. Now set up, you move just maybe a fraction over to the right side of the approach. Use the angle to try to carry off the left 3-2. And she does it successfully. Yeah, exactly.
Nicely done.
So she's got 150 pins through 5 on a 300 pace. Almost double what Shelly has.
Yeah, her TSN average 243. Her high game 408.
When she's hit it on the side of the head pin, there hasn't been any question about what the result's going to be. Just a strong, strong working shot. Moves its way across. Good reach, good balance at the finish. Gets down low. Watches this one tack onto the middle for the strike as she leads off 7. Okay, potential 271 game for Shelly.
That's a little reason to smile, but she really does need to pick it up and then hope for some mistakes from Barb.
Exactly. She has to take this one off the board now. So needs more shots like this. Fit it on the side of the head pin. Reach through it. Just kind of trust the shot at this point. Good result here.
There you go. Trust it.
So 271, the best that she can do. Got to throw more shots like this. Take it off the game. Got 9 and 10 left to play. Barb's potential right now, 360. Off balance there and got away with that one a little bit. As I said, she's got a target like about 3 feet wide right now. Just anything on the middle is going to work for her. Just loses her balance a fraction. You can see her just bounce over on the left side of her heel. But the great result at the other end. Second consecutive strike.
But, you know, look, we've seen it. I've seen it in curling in particular. Other games where you take aim. I mean, we've seen pitchers in baseball get away with it. She left the left side. But you can get away with it if your follow-through is at the target. Whatever you do. Think about golf.
Yeah, if you've done the other things right.
Wherever it's where that head pin meets the ball. Or the head pin, where the club meets the ball, right? You can take it and twist it and throw it over your shoulder as long as it comes down and meets it.
Ask Jim Furyk. It's all over the map back there, but it's
Couples is
square.
another great example, right?
But it's square when it
Trevino.
There we go.
Nicely done.
Good cover. That cinches her moving on.
Yeah, she's just playing too well.
She's got 268 right now without throwing a shot. The best that Shelly can do, 271 should she strike in 9 and 3 strikes in 10. But she'll go home $1,000 richer.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's her 4th miss on the middle with the first ball. Just way too many. You got to figure you're going to make a couple of mistakes in the match. Your opponent's going to make a couple of mistakes in the match. Right now, Barb's mistake, 1, back in the 4th frame. And you just can't give a player like of that caliber that many chances.
She has a great attitude, it seems to me. She says, you know what? I can't blame anybody else. I'm the only one out there on the lane. When I win, I take credit. When I lose, it's my fault.
Exactly. You're pretty much center stage. That's a good ball. You just see it in the release. Two more shots to come in the 10th. That ball right over the middle arrow, tracks into the left pocket. No question about it.
And she knows. I mean, it's funny how the mind plays.
Yeah, just relaxes, and now you just roll the ball. There's another one. It's a little short on this one. She kind of skipped it at the line there. She can finish up with a 216 game with a spare. Just under $5 a pin. There it is. Nope, right on the nose. 211 game.
And she'll take home the $1,000 as our runner-up here in the quarterfinal. That's a 50-pin difference for her between her opener and her second game. First appearance, this lady's going to be tough to beat. Last year's runner-up.
Guarantees the 300 plateau again. She's so consistent in her delivery and her setup. Doesn't take a long time up there. Focuses in on the target and then executes.
Oh,
String
come on, there it goes. There it goes.
No way she wasn't getting that one. It was just too good a ball.
Watch how this just wraps around before the string helps.
Just patience. Patience. It's everything. One last strike. 328.
Oh,
Not quite. 318.
well, that's even 2 pins better than what she threw in her opener, 316. Wow. Barb McLachlan from Mississauga, Ontario, will advance to the semifinals and put herself in position again to win the Canadian Women's